standing here with profound gratitude. We're still teenagers. It's our last teenage year, 19. But we're heading towards adulthood. And what we need to do is continue to open our hearts wider. You know, this is the time. Our heart's opening. And my heart is like amazed. Last week I talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and he talked about, you know, looking over, climbing to the mountaintop and looking over the other side. And as I look out at each one of you, I'm telling you that I'm seeing the other side. Because that's what this is all about. It is about each and every one of us that is here. It is about a gathering of light. It is about trusting in that little spark and knowing that we can go beyond that we can collectively do something more with this hurting world of ours and transform it into something amazing. We can go to those true spiritual truths that have been given us by all the traditions, because we are all of them. Interspirituality is a heart-centered unity consciousness. Yes, we are a part of all of them, believing in our primal traditions, respecting the earth, being at one with that, and acknowledging that what we do affects all, and paying attention to that, and being open to that. As a community, we remember that, because there is a grace that carries us. There's a grace that moves us. And we are asked to uplift ourselves, to put ourselves in a higher vibrational frequencies. All of the prophets have come down to do that. Rumi had said that before, right? All of the prophets have said that. So look at what gathering does. Gathering is in connection with that. Oh, do we chant like all the Hindu chants? We chant them so well. We lose ourselves and surrender. Give us a God, any God, we'll take a God. But we know it's not about that, but it's about maybe that's what we need in the moment and being okay with that. As all those millions of gods are all about in Hinduism. That I need that element, that aspect of support and strength to get me to the other side. But we keep going in Buddhism. We remember about mindfulness. We pay attention. We bring the psychological terminology into this to awaken our egos, to awaken our minds, to pay attention to what is right. The Jains have taught us how to be so nonviolent, to be peaceful in our own heads. That even those thoughts against ourselves are thoughts against the world, and they are unacceptable. In ways that we have to go deeper into our hearts. Our Taoist is telling us about that when we have the black, there is the white. There is this contrast in spirituality, and learning to be okay with that. To letting things be. To be okay with doing nothing. Our Shinto faith respects the ancestors, knowing where we came from. Some of us working hard to break the chains that have been so tightly wound in our family traditions that we needed to step out and do something more and do something different. And Shintoism is all about the ancestors will help us, because ultimately we all want to rise above and get beyond. And we have also the Wicca tradition, and we always celebrate the turn of the season. Next week we'll celebrate in bulk, and then that idea of creativity and spirituality. And we have, of course, we talk about this one here is Zoroastrianism. And that's kind of a reminder. That was the first monotheistic religion. And it's dying, because you can't convert into it. To be born into it. So it's a reminder that unless we work towards what we're doing, things can die. We have Judaism with its traditions, and Christianity that says it's the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. And then we go on with the passion of Sufism and the surrender of Islam. And then we have the Sikhs who teach us devotion And then the Baha'is that remind us of progressive revelation. That yes, humanity is progressing, spiritually trying to progress, that the prophets keep coming to tell us to evolve, evolve, evolve. And we are here as a community asking to take on that challenge and say, can we be a place, as it says in our words of wisdom? I left it, a place. You know, right now, we're in our Exodus. We're in our Exodus, right? We've been traveling around, but we found that all peoples find themselves in their time of their Exodus. You know, no freedom comes without some work. We're talking about a freedom of spirit, a freedom of defining ourselves, a freedom of having a personal relationship and being those channels that we can then shine into the world. A freedom of openness. So many times I meet people that want to do, they want to bring their kids and have the kids program like we have here, but they can't find it where they are. We have guests that have come. Bert's daughter has come and went upstate and couldn't find something like Gathering of Light. It is precious. It is you. It is because of all of us here. None of this can be done without each and every one of you. And we've decided to use the term interspirituality. And what does that mean? That means we're not putting another symbol up here. That means we are putting a thread up here. A thread that's going to connect them all in a way that's filled with grace, that's filled with light, that's filled with us not needing to be defined by anything, but allowing ourselves to be molded into anything and everything. It is exciting. It is amazing. And what we can do is so incredible. And we have a vision as a community to have a place where this is made manifest here on Long Island. It can be the most unique place that has ever been made on this island. And we have a vision for it as a community. It is very exciting. And like I said, as a community that's going into its 20th year, that we have to think of these things and move ahead into more of our adultness. You know, we have let it go a little bit. I can remember the first service that we ever had. It was in a basement at a chiropractic office. And I was late. And I think there was 9 of us. 9, a very good spiritual number. And there were times when it was just me and my 4 kids. Right, Art? Yep. and there were times, but we just kept going. We just kept going. And everyone says, oh, this is your baby and this is your vision. Not me. I'm from Richard Bach's Illusion, the reluctant minister, I call myself. I got phone calls after I was ordained. Is there an interfaith fellowship? Is there an interfaith fellowship? Oh, 9 calls. There goes the 9 again. I got scared. Why did I get scared? Because I was in the cathedral, St. John of the Vines, being ordained by everybody under the sun. Minister, Sikh, shaman, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to, here I am, Lord, I'll do what you say, Lord. And all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls from people, and I'm saying, oh, okay, I'll write your name down. I'll tell you if I hear somebody. And I was like, ooh, this might mean me. You know, when I went back to the seminary to teach a class on congregational ministry, I heard all the way, well, I don't want to do congregational ministry, I just want to do weddings. And so I said to everybody, we're going to start with a prayer. And they were all there, oh yes, we love to pray, yay. So everybody stand up, and they were all standing up, and they will go, I said, now say, dear God, they're all, dear God, I don't want to be a congregational minister. But if you ask me, I will do it. And then I told him to sit down. And each one of you are ministers in your own right, in your own hearts and in your own souls. You know, and we are ministers for this concept and taking into spirituality. And you know, when I was first started doing A Course in Miracles, I was all by myself and I didn't know it. And that time I had a little apartment with a basement. I love the basements. I don't mean basements. But anyway, I was down in my basement slash living room, and I'm reading the workbook, and I'm getting to I got to lesson 50, and I started to shake. And I said, oh my God, if I continue to do this, I will never be the same again. I knew it. With every fabric of my being, I knew it. Now my ego went, red light, no, stop. And then of course it gave me all the scenario, because my family, of course, thought I was going to be a Hare Krishna in the airport, right, giving out roses. I do have roses to give out today. It's pretty funny. But something that changed, and that's where we have to get to. Knowing that, my God, I'll never be the same again, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And it's a thing that's so needed in this world, that we allow ourselves to surrender to this. And then when we say interspirituality, what does that mean? What am I going to become? And Brother Teasdale, that coined the phrase, he was very wise, and he gave us 9 elements to help us to see how we would become. And the first one, he said that we would have an actualized moral capacity, that we would have a true sense within us of what's right and wrong, and how to follow direction with that and uphold that. And I was thinking about our community, and I thought of right away with that Reverend Lucille, right? When you think of Reverend Lucille, boy, she follows that. And it was a really cool thing. I also think of my son Ari with that, who's our advisory trustee. He came all the way out from Brooklyn today. I'm spotting you out, Ari. Okay? So that's the one. So that's a nice thing. We'd like to be like that, And then we have another thing, solidarity with all living beings. That's another aspect that we develop and become more like. And I think of like Melissa, right? Those of you who know Melissa, and all her animals all over the place, and when she's vegan and she's always conscientious of everything, where she steps and all that. There's a real sense of solidarity with all living beings with her. It's just showing you how it's starting to develop within our community, all these things. That sense of deep nonviolence is another element. And I think of Lauren, our Little Lights teacher. She is so committed to a sense of not even a nonviolence in her behaviors and her connection, but also like with the gentleness with the children and a sweetness of heart and soul. When you get to know her, you would see that a little bit more. And Brian. Brian's always everybody's friend. Doesn't he have a sense of deep nonviolence? There's such a sense of joy with him, and all of these things. With another element is humility. Isabel came right to my mind with humility, right? And Madeline, you come to my mind when I think of humility. And these aspects that come on again, spiritual practice. Marnie, you're getting very devoted. I know that spiritual practice is coming out in you all the time. And all of these things that, we are this. We already are this. A mature self-knowledge. Being okay with being who we are as we are. That's really amazing. Everyone know Rick Jacques, who's the old man who just sits over there. He has a mature self-knowledge. It's not about age. It's about really knowing who he is, and how he's in there. And able to see themselves, the good and the bad, and put that all together. And Rosemary, you're like that too. So we have all of these good things. Simplicity of life. Well, that's got to be Bert. And Nancy. Yeah. Bert, you and your naked beaches, I mean. But the next element is selfless service, right? Selfless service with compassionate action. And I thought of Jeannie and Roseanne, who's out there right now cooking for us while we're all in here enjoying the service. The selfless service. And then the last one is prophetic voice. And where's John? John's not here, but John's always the activist in the group, right? He's the activist in the group. But also, I thought of a prophetic voice was Agnes because of that compassionate communication, having a voice that comes out the right way with that, And we're going to initiate our trustees and all. I'm going to give them they got the whole package, so I didn't pull them out to do this. But there's many of you, and all of you have done so many different things. But that's what this is about, and that's where we're going. So when I ask that question, my God, I'll never be the same again. Coming here, hopefully you will never be the same again. But what we're going to be, what each one of you are going to be through this journey, I can't tell you. But what I will tell you, that we will witness it for you. And we will hold your hand through that. And allow you to answer your own individual call of what that means for you. And together, we will make an amazing gathering of light that will shine so bright and so brilliant that, yes, even in a bright sunlight, it will shine like diamonds.